First, let's start off the look by applying primer all over the skin as though it's moisturizer.
And move these pieces right. Don't wanna make you wait forever. Don't try to justify all my reasons why. One more day and maybe never.
Then I'm going to identify any areas on the skin that have dark circles or dark spots and apply under eye corrector on top of it. This product is going to cancel out any of the darkness on my skin so that it doesn't compete with the products I'm going to put on top of it and really makes it look like this skin is all one color.
Drowning and lost in this place. I'll reach out for you 'cause time won't erase my feelings for you. Whenever I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place, I'll reach out for you 'cause I won't erase.
To start my foundation, I'm going to apply a foundation that is about 3 to 4 shades lighter than my skin tone, and I'm going to start that in the center of the face, just to lighten up and brighten up the center of the face. Now with the pointy part of the Beauty Blender, we're going to blend out the light foundation, keeping it really in the center of the face. This foundation formula is new to me and it's a little bit more sheer than I expected, so I'm going to put on just a little bit more foundation in certain areas and blend that out. Now with the foundation that matches my skin complexion, I'm going to apply this to the perimeter of my face. This way, the foundation will actually look like it's matching my skin, but we still maintain the brightness in the center of the face. Now with the fat part of the Beauty Blender, I'm going to go ahead and pounce this on my skin to blend the foundation that matches my skin out. Now with my Beauty Blender, I'm going to blend the two foundations together. To do this, I'm going to really focus on the line where the two foundations meet. And using my Beauty Blender, I'm going to basically pounce the Beauty Blender along that line to blur out the edges. And that way it'll look like one cohesive unit. Now I'm going to focus on highlighting. I'm going to use this lighter concealer to conceal underneath the eyes, going up towards my temple and then alongside my nose. Usually I'd be creating a triangle in this area, but I'm going to use the Beauty Blender to blend it out, so eventually it will actually turn into that triangular shape underneath the eyes.
Don't try to justify all my reasons why. One more day and maybe never. Time won't stand still, not for anybody, no. Time hurts, it is, but baby, I know.
I'm doing the same technique with this concealer, but this one has a little bit more orange, so it adds a little bit more warmth to the skin and it's fuller coverage. So I'm just going to apply this to the under eye area and blend out with my beauty blender.
For you, whenever I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place, I reach out for you, 'cause I want to erase my feelings for you.
This NARS concealer has such great coverage that there was some product still left on my beauty blender. So I used the remainder of what was left on my beauty blender to highlight my chin area and my forehead. Okay, so my forehead needed a little bit more extra love, so we're going to go ahead and apply a couple of dots of the same NARS concealer into the center of the head and blend it out with the beauty blender. Now it's time to set my under eye area with Banana Luxury Powder by Ben Nye. I'm also going to put some of this Banana Luxury Powder onto my upper lid because that's going to help to keep the brightness in the skin, but also help to set the eye area and prepare it for eyeshadow later. Now with my brow pencil, I'm going to start by filling in the head of my brow with this Strut Brow Definer by MAC Cosmetics. Then I'm going to use a spoolie and go over the pencil in the brow area to soften it out so that it looks more natural, like a brow. From the middle to the tail of the brow, I'm going to use Spiked, which is a deep brunette brow defining pencil. Now I'm going to go back to the spoolie to spread out the color a little bit more and blend those two colors together. Now with this tapered crease brush, this MAC 217 brush, I'm going to apply Rust, which is a deep brownish red eyeshadow color in the socket of my eye. This is a perfect transition color for the cranberry color that is going to go on the lid. Now with a fluffier dome-shaped brush with nothing on it, I'm going to sweep this brush in the crease just to blend out that initial line we made with that taper crease brush just moments ago. Then with this placement brush by Lori Hogue, I'm going to apply by stippling this eyeshadow, this pomegranate, really gorgeous cranberry eyeshadow all over the bottom lid, all the way up to meet that rust color that's in my crease.
Justify all my reasons why. One more day and maybe never. Time won't stand still, not for anybody, no.
Before I begin blending, I want to really make sure that this color is evenly applied all over the eyelid. So I'm really going the extra step to make sure that it's evenly applied, even going as far as turning the brush upside down so that it rests on my lashes and pushes the color as close to my lash line as possible.
For you, whenever I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place, I reach out for you 'cause I want to erase.
Now that I know I have that pomegranate eyeshadow stippled onto the eyelid and it's evenly placed, I'm going to take a tapered crease brush and run a windshield wiper motion between the pomegranate and the rust eyeshadow to blend the two together. Now with an angle brush, I'm going to apply a matte black eyeshadow only to the outer third of the eye. I'm really doing this to kind of elongate the eye and make it appear a little bit larger. Now it's time for mascara. After I placed the mascara on and did the angle with my, with that matte black eyeshadow, I wanted to kind of change the shape of the eyeshadow placement. So I went back to pomegranate in that placement brush and brought that eyeshadow up a little higher on the inner corner of the eye. By bringing that cranberry eyeshadow up on the inner corner of the eye and then keeping it low on the outer corner of the eye, it gives the illusion and the shape of an almond, which as a makeup artist, they always tell us in school that is the ideal shape you want to create with your eyeshadow. Now I'm going back to my mascara and really working on the outer corner of those lashes. I really want them to fan out on the outer corner just because that's the shape I want them to have for this eye look in particular. Now I'm going to use a brush to dust off the Access Banana Luxury Powder that we placed on the face earlier. Now to enhance my lashes, I'm just going to apply a half lash on the outer corner of the eye. These are half of an Ardell 113 lash. And I like to use these because 113, the style is already very dramatic. So when I chop off the outer half of the lash and just use the inner half of the lash, it actually looks very natural from my lash blending into this false lash. So at the end, you get a lot of drama, but in the center and in the front end of my lashes, it looks very natural, which I want it to look like that because it looks a little bit more believable. Now I'm going to finish off the rest of the face by adding some dimension to the skin. I'm going to add a concealer that is 2 to 3 shades darker than my natural skin tone using a foundation brush. I'm going to start at my cheekbones and kind of create a little bit of an angle from my hairline down towards my mouth, and then blend that up into my forehead. I'm going to do it on one side and then work my way to the other side. You'll notice this time opposed to my other videos, I'm actually using less product. I'm trying to do this thing where I'm using less product in that area only because I like the way that I just have it creates a natural shadow, and blending takes pretty much half the time and half the work with this technique. To blend it out, I'm going to use my beauty blender, and in the dark areas where I have the contour, I'm going to blend the contour down into the highlight using the fat part of the beauty blender, and then switch the sponge so that I use the thinner part and the pointy part of the beauty blender to blend the highlight onto the contour. I'm going to go back and forth and do this over and over again until the lines between that dark and light concealer and cream products are basically blended, and they have that perfect ombre effect.
I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place. I reach out for you 'cause I want to erase my feelings for you.
Now with the makeup powder puff, I'm going to finish off the foundation by applying a powder that matches my skin tone and apply this all over the face.
I always know the road to you. Time won't stand still, not for anybody, no. Time hurts it.
Now I'm going to go ahead and take a cheek brush and apply that rust colored eyeshadow all over the areas that I applied the contour color. And this is what's going to just basically warm up the skin and bronze the skin all over. I love to use these rust reddish brown eyeshadows as a matte bronzer just to warm up the skin after my foundation is done. Now I'm not placing a lot of color underneath my bottom lid, but I do want to give it some definition. So I'm going to apply this brown eyeliner underneath just to kind of define the bottom lashes that are underneath there. Now I'm going to use a cheek brush and apply Wineberry cheek color from the apple of my cheek working up towards the temple. I want to make sure with this color to not go any lower on my face and to stay above my contour. The reason is the higher I stay with this color, the more lifted and angled my face will appear. Now after prepping my lips with lip balm, I'm going to apply this liquid latex lipstick all over the lips. First, by using the wand to outline my lips along my natural lip line, and then filling it in completely with the lip color.
Make you wait forever. Don't try to justify all my reasons why. One more day and maybe never. Time won't stand still, not for anybody, no. But baby, I know if ever I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place.
And that's the look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this video.
For you, if ever I feel like I'm drowning and lost in this place, out for you, 'cause I want to erase my feeling.